Hello everyone, this is Avish Tukai, and I'll be telling you why you should be getting into FANG companies if you are a software developer. Now, let's first describe what a FANG is. Now, the acronym FANG stands for Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. But lately, many number of companies have taken over the pedestal of FANG companies, and the reason for that is these companies, even though they are not belonging to FANG, provide similar benefits and great career progression. Okay, so why should one join FANG? Now, the first thing which comes to mind compared to a service-based company is no bench policy. So what that is when you are in a service-based company, you are basically a resource, and using you as an headcount, a service-based company such as TCS, Infosys, Wipro, and many others uh, get projects and develop softwares for that particular project. And now this is what a service based company is. Now there are other product based companies which are not FANG level, but compared to service based companies, it's always better to go for product based companies for many reasons, and I'll tell you each one of them. First is individual career path. So in a service based company, meeting with clients, those things take precedence over a good software engineering. So basically you don't get enough time to improve your skills. All right, and next we have the compensation part. Obviously, like you must have heard, like while TCS and others pay still 3 to 5 for freshers, companies belonging to FANG category, let's say for example Atlassian, right? I don't know if you've heard of that name or not, but it gives a CTC of 52. Though it's a bloated figure and you might get somewhere around 20 to 30, but still is much greater than the 3 lakh CTC that you were getting. Next, the one of the key reasons why you should join FANG companies is not just for that high compensation, but for the product driven approach that they apply to each and every one of their product. So what that means is when they want to build a product, they will get to the design discussions, do everything, product mockups, and they will build that thing from scratch, and then they will acquire multiple paying customers for that. So once you have built a product, you can have multiple sources of revenue for a single product. Whereas for a service-based company, you might develop a product, but that might be for a specific client and it might not be used anywhere. So economies wise, that's why FANG companies are able to pay higher. And not just FANG companies, but any product based company. And the second big reason is diversified products. So FANG companies have multiple products going on simultaneously, so you always have the option to move into a different product and improve your skill set and make yourself relevant in the industry by gaining more knowledge and experience. This will help you a lot in the later stages of your career where your experience counts a lot. Next is ownership. Now, when you are given to do some work in a FANG level company, you're given the complete ownership. There is no in time, there is no out time. You're free to play in the office whenever you want, table tennis or anything. And there was no one watching your back. Like when you want to work, you work, and when you don't, you don't. But the only thing that you need to focus yourself with is finishing the work in deadline. Next is, let's talk about something very critical topic that I want to discuss is ageism in software industry. You might have seen in the newspapers people getting laid off at the mid senior level, somewhere around the age of 35 to 40, mostly service based IT companies. The reason for that is after a certain point in your career in these IT service companies, since you are not getting too deep in any product and just making products for specific clients, and after that, what happens when you go to higher levels, your skills become irrelevant because you are not learning something which will be useful later. You are just doing a hack by learning something quickly and building something temporarily for the client to get his work done. Now, what happens in later stages of your career is to rise higher, you need to move into management line, right? And a company cannot have too many managers. That's by design. So basically, you are redundant, and any company would be very happy to get rid of you if they can hire someone for much lesser price than you. And that's what's happening. They hire a bunch of people at the bottom level and keep their pyramid structure correct, and due to that they lay off lots of people at the middle management, cutting the fat, as they say. And this is a very big issue because as you approach 40, you cannot afford to lose your job because you'll be obligated to many other things that life throws at you. So that kind of stability is not provided by non-product based companies. So always go for product based companies, and better it is if it is a FAANG company. Now, one more very important aspect of FAANG company is the invaluable experience that you get. Since you dive deep into whatever product you are working on in the current team that you are assigned to, you will gain invaluable experience in the tech stack and gain insights that a fresher just cannot have. So this invaluable experience makes you very valuable in the industry later stages of your career because of your experience. And that, my friend, will stop you from getting fired in any company, no matter how high your salary is, because there is no replacement for you. You have to be irreplaceable at the highest stages of your career. And there are other amazing benefits like free food, cab service, and reimbursements such as telephone bill, electricity, and other such things. Many other things like let's for example say during this COVID, Amazon and Google provided a reimbursement for tables and basically work from a home setup like monitor, chairs, ergonomic chairs, etc. These kind of benefits are simply not affordable for service-based companies or even low-tier product-based companies. Now, you might wonder, like, why should one join FAANG compared to other product-based companies? Well, the only reason I can give you is amazing benefits, much more number of diversified products so that you can switch teams and gain more knowledge in your area, and better pay overall and better work-life balance. And we'll dive deeper into those things later, but yeah, that's what I wanted to say why you should join FAANG. If you have any doubts, ask in the comment section. I'll be happy to clear those out. Let's move on to the next section for now. Some of you might ask, is it better to join a FAANG compared to a startup? Well, I'll tell you the reasons for both. For joining a startup, have the following things in mind. Startups are a very good place to learn. So what happens is FAANGs have already built products, and most of the work is maintaining those products and doing minor changes. But they do have some teams where they are building new products from scratch. If that is the case, then even FAANG is as good as a startup. And there is no reason to join a startup apart from stocks and other things. But the only reason to join startup is there are two types of startups, right? One is a unicorn startup that is valued at over $1 billion or higher, and another startup is in its very nascent stages. So those kind of startups, they don't pay you very well, but they might pay you well. Alright, so it will definitely be better than service-based IT companies, but it won't be at the level of FAANG companies. The reason for joining those startups is if you believe in their product and if you honestly think that their product would be of great value in the future and you'd be able to grow quickly. One disadvantage of FAANG is since they are already so big, your promotion would be comparatively very slow compared to if you are at a startup. Like in a startup, since you'll be doing everything from scratch and there is no definite role assigned to you, you will do everything, and that will be a very invaluable experience, and it will help you in the long run by making you an invaluable person in the industry who is able to get any job he wants. And mind you, if you work for a very good startup and worked on some of their amazing products, then you might be more valuable than a FAANG engineer, and those FAANG companies might actually come to you and ask you to join them for a much higher salary than what their current employees earn. But joining a startup is not always a short way to do that, because most of the startups fail. So you need to evaluate, and based on that, you need to make a decision whether you want to join a startup. And the reason for joining FAANG is basically a higher pay in general, and lots of perks, benefits, and a stable career, better work-life balance. Yeah, I forgot about one thing, like startups, you need to work a lot more compared to FAANG companies, because you are doing almost everything and you'll be short on time. So your work-life balance might take a hit. But in general, for FAANG or better established companies have better work-life balance. So what is my take on this? Like, what should you join? Well, if it's an early stage startup with 50 to 100 or 200 employees or something of similar category, and their valuation is less than $1 million, and they are not growing very exponentially, in that case, I leave it up to you, because you need to decide whether you believe in the product and whether that product can take off. And if that startup is a unicorn and you get a chance to work for that, then I believe that will be better compared to FAANG company, because you'll be learning as well as having a good pay. Like if I want to give an example, Amazon, a FAANG company, has a base pay of around 13 or 13.5, but there is a company called Udaan which is a unicorn, and it pays base of 20, and ShareChart and Dunzo and others pay in similar category. So basically startups pay higher because they need better people to build world-class products and compete with FAANG level companies. To finish this discussion off, I'll have a list of some amazing companies which are considered FAANG level in terms of pay, benefits, and reputation in the industry and your career growth. And let's just dive into those companies. The first category of companies that you see, these are the established FAANG level companies: Google, Uber, Facebook, Microsoft, LinkedIn, Walmart, Labs, Flipkart, etc. You can see all of these, and you might see two categories of companies in here. One is the software, purely software companies such as the ones mentioned here, and some others such as Morgan Stanley, Dayshaw, Associum, etc. These are fintech companies. Like, they pay in general higher compared to software industry, but your career progression is a little different and might be affected if you stay too long in those companies. It depends from person to person, and I don't have much idea what happens at higher level, but what I'm providing the info is that generally freshers or within an experience of 1 to 3 years. The second category of companies that we have over here is very promising startups, and I believe if you get job in these startups, it's better to join them compared to this established companies. These are the startups that you should be looking for to work to. Alright, and next we have purely fintech companies. These are the companies that pay the highest for software engineers in the industry. If I want to give an estimate, like let's say Tower Research Capital provides the highest base for a fresher. I think the cash component is somewhere around 30 plus, 35 or something, including the bonus obviously. Now, what to do for freshers, you might ask. Well, for freshers, these companies, they let me be very honest, they go to mostly IITs and NITs and hire whoever clears their bar. But since there are a lot of openings and there are very less number of these students, they try to hire from other places as well, and they even try to hire from other branches. So if you can show those skills in your resume, you can get a referral from someone. These are the things that you need to be very good at in order to crack these companies. First is operating system, next is DBMS, and then basic networking knowledge and good problem solving ability. This depends from company to company, but generally medium to hard level of lead code style, and 1 to 4 projects of considerable depth. That's about it for freshers. Now let's get into the main topic. Why should you watch my YouTube channel? Well, I'm a guy who is working in a decent product-based company, earning, I'll say, decent, but I will get into FAANG within 1 year. I'll be preparing for that, and I'll be While preparing, I'll be guiding you to prepare yourself how to get into those companies. Well, you might ask, why do you need my guidance? Well, let me be very honest. The culture in IITs and NITs, which are already established, is very good. People, the seniors there know what to do to get into those companies and they guide their juniors. But in tier 2 and tier colleges, students don't have the privilege of having seniors who have achieved great things. So the only way to get those is by guidance from another person, right? And I will be the guiding light for you guys. I'll be making videos and you can follow along with me. We can have a great community. We'll discuss things and we will be tracking the FAANG companies. And you might ask, well, the positions are already filled. Well, my dear friend, don't worry about it. FAANG companies are always hiring. Whenever they see a good candidate who clears the bar, they'll definitely hire. That's all for now. And thanks for watching, guys, and happy coding. And by the way, if this video helped you in any way, just don't forget to drop a like. That'll help out a ton. Thanks, guys. See ya.